Hey there. I want to talk about a subject that comes up quite a bit, and that is the fear of needing to be the smartest person in the room. So, if you're that person, I'm talking directly to you. So, if you think that you have to be the smartest person in the room to be able to be seen as a leader or to even be a leader, you're looking at that all wrong. So, you do not have to be the smartest person in the room to be a leader. So there are many reasons why I know I've been there, you've probably been there as well, why we feel like we have to be the smartest person in the room. Maybe it's culture. Maybe that's just the way that you were raised. Maybe it's that you work in a male-dominated market or niche or good old boys world like some of us do. And that kind of makes you feel like you have to stand up or prove yourself in a different way. Or maybe it's just imposter syndrome that you've convinced yourself that you're not good enough, that you're not smart enough. So you feel like you have to be the smartest person in the room. Now, what that means oftentimes is when you are trying to prove yourself, and by proving that you're the smartest person in the room, to maybe, I don't know if it's make yourself fit in or feel better or be a leader or whatever that misconceived idea is, you do a disservice to yourself and your team. Because when you are trying to be the smartest person and answer all the questions or have all the answers, you're not doing a good enough job of listening. And real leaders, really good leaders, they listen really well. And I've been in your shoes. I've had to try and prove myself in many situations. I started in the home furnishings industry without even knowing what a harp and a finial was. But I started a business and we did well. And I got into consulting. And it wasn't because I knew the industry, but it's because I know people and I know process and I know operations and I'm a good question asker, right? So I know how to ask really great questions. I know how you feel. I know that sometimes we get in situations where we feel like we have to prove ourselves. But what I have found that if I can slow down and I can stop and I can let my ego get out of the way or let my fear get out of the way, I realize that my team members usually have the answers. I just need to know how to ask the right questions. And any leader that I've ever really admired, it's not because they were dominating and because they were the smartest person in the room. It's because they cared, they asked great questions, and instead of being interesting, they were interested. So I always try and be interested. Now, I'm not perfect at it. I fail every day, but I try every day and I'm well aware of that. And I think that's half of the battle for you is just stopping and thinking and being aware of those things. So when those situations do pop up, you see what's going on and you can stop yourself from thinking, oh no, I have to have all the answers. Research shows, it was published in Harvard Review, that most women in leadership roles at that level, they actually outscore men. And it's because they are not afraid to ask great questions. They are not afraid to take a seat at the same table and not need to be the smartest one there. They care about relationships. They don't need to dominate those conversations. Not always, but often women do really well because they have really good emotional intelligence. You know, a lot of times it's been said that being vulnerable in a work environment is weakness, and I think it's totally the opposite. If you are a person that can show who you are and why you lead, take accountability for yourself, be there for your team, ask great questions, that's what leadership is. You don't have to have all the answers, but what you do have to have is you have to be able to clearly clarify to your team what the goal is. So, what is the expected outcome? Or what is the definition of done? If you can do that and clearly do that and lead your team to that place, that's what matters. They have the skill sets to get there. You don't have to have all those answers, they've got you. So, if I had to say what the big three are, it would be asking great questions, hiring a great team, and defining what the outcome should be. That's what a good leader does. Again, it's not about having all the answers. It's not about having to show up and prove yourself. It's about defining those things clearly for your team so that they can go and achieve those goals. So, if I could invite you to do anything, it would be to drop the armor. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room. It's okay to sit back and listen, provide insight and input when needed, or an opinion when asked. If you're not asked for an opinion, don't give it. That's really hard as a leader. Instead, ask a great question. Ask a clarifying question. Ask, and what else? And what else? Or tell me more. Or what can I do to help you achieve that goal? So, again, I've been there daily. I still get it. But once you can get rid of the fear or the anxiety of feeling like you have to be the smartest person in the room, you can really sit back and observe, and you can lead your team so much better, and so much better than you could if you were demanding and you were interrupting and you always had to have the last answer or the last comment or the smartest comment. If you can let go of those things, it will free your mind, it will free your leadership capabilities, and you will soar.